morning. Michael DDA here. I'm so pleased that you could make it here today. We got some really neat things to talk about today. You know, I found out yesterday, first time, where the 70 nations comes from. Hopefully we'll get to that question today. Oh, fascinating to see some of the things that we're finding in Torah, things that I see so easily now that took me so very long to find out in the past. Well, we're going on a journey. I changed the name of my blog today from Join Us for Sabbath to Journey Through Torah with Michael DDA. I think it more describes what we're doing here each week. We're journeying through the Torah. You know what? We're learning the way that leads to life on our journey. Woohoo! Give me some of that. Well, let's do a quick review of what we did last week. The last thing we saw was Noah coming out of the ark. Himself, followed by his sons, his woman, and his sons' women. His Isha, his sons' Nashim. I really want you to get to know these words. They're important words to understand and broaden and deepen our understandings in the Torah. Well, the very first thing he did was what? Here it is in verse 20. He built an altar to Yehovah. And he raised a rising of smoke, a sweet aroma to Yehovah. Ooh, how did he do that? He slaughtered from the clean animals. Only males. You don't have burnt offerings that do not come from female animals. They come from male animals. Remember we talked about with the animals, we burn everything except the skin. And with the birds, we burn everything except the gizzards, the crops and the gizzards. So, we're going to have one less male, aren't we, for some of the females? You think we can pick up the slack with the other males? Well, of course we can. Not a problem. Even the animals can have more than one female. Well, so they all come out of the ark. And who does Yehovah talk to? He talks to Noah and his sons. He said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth." The first thing that he told them to do, be fruitful. How are you fruitful? You follow his statutes, his judgments, his ordinances. You do what you were created to do. For a man and for his woman. Then you multiply, and then you spread out and fill the earth with good seed. Remember, it's about the seed. We talked about last week in verse 3. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. Well, is everything that lives going to be food for us? The pigs? The insects? No. Do not build your theology based on one verse in the Torah. We've seen that there are many places in Torah that contradict other places. Let's make sure that we understand it in the context of the whole and don't build our theology based on one verse. Ooh, there's lots of people that will read this one verse and do that. Well, the next thing we saw was about our lifeblood. Yehovah feels strongly about the shedding of blood, but he feels even more strongly about the shedding of Ha-Adam's blood. He said, whoever shed Ha-Adam's blood by Adam, his blood shall be shed. For in the image of Elohim, he made the man. Ooh, isn't that interesting? Well, that goes to many, many other subjects. What about somebody who murders a woman? What about a woman who marries a man? We saw what happens when an animal kills a man. We saw what happens when a man kills a man. He's going to be killed by another man. Well, that's what's going to happen if a woman kills a man. But what if a man kills a woman? How about a woman killing a woman? Well, there's lots more things that we need deeper understandings on. And sometimes these things are not obvious. Remember in the wilderness, Moses was getting overwhelmed by people coming to him with disagreements, with arguments, different things, questions, and he was finally encouraged to appoint other men to act as lawmakers and judges in the camp, primarily judges. And what they couldn't answer would be going to Moses. Well, you know what? That's exactly what's going to happen when the 144,000 are raised up. The people that are going to come to each one of those men are going to overwhelm those men. Those men are also going to have to appoint in their gates. Other men who can help him, assist him in doing what needs to be done. But these are going to be men who have a much deeper understanding. They didn't have enough understanding to be marked as one of the servants. But now they are developing new understandings, and some of those men really are quite advanced in their understandings. They were just lacking some things which prevented them from being one of Yehovah's people, one of his sent ones, his shalach. Well, as I say, those men are going to help also, but there are things that had to come to Moses. What if a woman kills a woman? How do we deal with that? Does her brother go after the woman who did it? Maybe. Because it's said by his brother. Well, where was it? Let's see if we can find that, because that was important. Here it is. Surely for your lifeblood I will demand a reckoning. From the hand of every beast I will require it. So he's talking about animals killing a man. And from the hand of Ha-Adam, from the hand of every Ish's brother. Now, this is not a lady's brother. This is the Ish's brother. Here, I'll show you. This is Ish. Here it is right here. Every Ish's brother. It's an Ish. And from the hand, I will require the life of Ha-Adam. Ha-Adam is not ladies. Can't be ladies. Ha-Adam is the man. Look what he said. For in the image of Elohim, I made Ha-Adam. So we've got to go deeper. There's more understandings that we've got to obtain. We have always treated men and women alike, don't we? But does Yehovah? In the year of release, every 7 years, does the woman go out? No, only the servant goes out. the woman stays forever, or until she's sold. No, there's other understandings that we've got to go. We've got to go deeper. So let's continue. We're talking about the covenant. Look what he says. And as for me, behold, I will establish my covenant with you and with your descendants. This word descendants is what? Seed. Seed. Zara. There it is. Zara. Your Zara. After you. Not talking about the ladies, talking about the seed. And remember, he's talking about, it's particular because he's going to say with you, your descendants after you, and with every living creature. Well, now the woman could be included in every living creature, couldn't they? But the woman could also be included with you, bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh, couldn't she? Well, this is where he was talking about, I will never again cut off all flesh by the waters of the flood. Well, how's he going to do it? We saw he was going to do it by a great burning in the earth. I think he's going to, in the end, in the great day of Yehovah, it's going to be talents of brimstone. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, it's going to be 75-pounder brimstone that's going to come on the earth. It's going to cook everything. And look what he says. Then he gives us a rainbow. Do you remember this from last week? He says, and Elohim said, this is a sign of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. That's a long time. We still have a rainbow, don't we? When did this happen? 1,600 years after creation, and now we're approaching 6,000 years. Perpetual generations still have a rainbow. Well, that has ramifications too, doesn't it? Remember, that word, perpetual generations, is olam dor. Dor olam. Dor olam. Dor olam, your generations forever. But then we read the same kind of wording concerning the Passover that everybody has thrown out and done now a Seder or a foot washing or a communion. Perversion. We're taking Yehovah's eternal and unchanging ways, things that are supposed to be Dor Olam, perpetual generations, and throwing them out. Shame on us. The very way that a man becomes a ger and again reunites with the Father and has the glory and the honor and the immortality once again, as he was created to have. Remember, after the sin, we lost it. There was a new kind created in the earth. And the good news is that we can become the old kind, the original kind. Go back to the original, the new man. That's the good news. It's good for Dor Olam, a perpetual generation. Well, the last things that we talked about. I guess that was the last thing that we really talked about, because we left off around 19 or 18 of this chapter. I'm going to start at 18. Remember, it was about Yehovah raising up seed on the earth through Noah. Look what it says in verse 18. Now, Noah's seed. Here it is. Noah's seed. There's no definite article, the. We're talking about Noah's seed, B'nai, really, B'ni. Here it is right here. This is it, B'ni. Let me make that a little bit bigger. B'ni. We see it everywhere. You know, I am still finding old notes in my eSword that have some of my very, very early understandings of what the B'ni is. B'nai, the B'nai. They call it B'nai. It's so weird. They call it B'nai. Why do they call it B'nai? They give it a different. It's the same spelling as B'ni, my son, but they give it a different pronunciation. Does it make it more holy? Does it make it different? No, it's the same word. B'ni, I originally came to understand, of course, everybody thinks it means sons. No, it doesn't mean sons. It's not sons. It's multi-generational. Sons is banim. There are not two words for sons. So we've got to move deeper. And so I thought B'nai might be the spiritually born man, and Banim was the flesh-born man. Well, Banim is indeed the flesh-born man. A man, a B'nai, can begat Banim and Banot. But what is a B'nai? Because even the Gentiles can produce Banim and Banot, can't they? And they're called B'nai also. We talked about the B'nai of Heth. We talked about the B'nai of Esau. Gentiles, wicked men, don't follow Yehovah. We talked in recent weeks here about the B'nai of Adam. Remember that? B'nai of Ha-Adam, or Ha-Adam's B'nai. The man's seed. That's the whole earth. We're all Ha-Adam's seed until we come into the new birth and become Israel's seed. So I went from understanding this B'nai as being a spiritual man, and it didn't work. I had to move ahead. And I started thinking about it as my son, Yehovah's son. Okay, that didn't work either because we had his son. But when I saw his son, it was more than just his sons. It was his sons. It was Esau's sons. So I had to change the word. And it wasn't but maybe 6 months ago that I came to an understanding of seed. Seed. These are Noah's seed that we're talking about. He's going to raise up seed on the earth. And Shem, or Japheth, Ham, and Japheth, Shem, and Ham are the first seed that he's going to raise up. Ooh, this word seed opens up a whole new understanding for us. We don't see it yet, but it is going to open up a gigantic understanding. The seed, what did he say? The land and the seed, the land and the seed. I will give you this land, and the seed shall be as the stars of heaven. Well, he's not going to have that many kids. No, he's talking about spiritually born men throughout the ages. I am one of those seeds, and I want all of you to be one of those seeds. So look what it says in Yasher. Ooh, I love the book of Yasher. It just gives us so much more insight. This is Yasher 5:13. It says this. Let me move it up. And Noah was a holy, just man in his generation. And Yehovah chose him to raise up seed from his seed upon the face of the earth. Seed from his seed. A man teaches his seed, and a man teaches his sons. Again, seed, the ways of Yehovah. Well, this is fascinating stuff. And when we begin to see the seed and the sons together, it begins to even make more sense to us. We're going to see it in the start of this very next chapter. But let's continue with where we are right now. It says, and now Noah's seed went out of the ark. Who's the seed? Shem, Ham, Japheth. But look what he says. And Ham was the father of Canaan. Well, where did that come from? He's going to say it twice. Then he says, these three were Noah's seed. Noah's seed. Here it is again. These three were Noah's seed. Benim, or Benay. Bani. Let's get it right. Noah's seed. And from these, the whole earth was populated. The seed gives birth to more seed. But now look what happens. Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. Well, good for Noah. You know what? I think that Yehovah's people were meant to be an agrarian society. He said, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. Remember, fruitful is to do the things that we were created to do. Men were created to keep Yehovah's commandments. Women were created to follow their man and keep his rule. He shall rule over you. And once we do that, then we can expand into new territory, filling the earth. I said an agrarian society. Filling the earth is to move out into the country, not to move to the cities, right? Got to fill the earth, not the cities. He gives us the blessing from the ground and the blessings from our flocks, the fruit of our trees. I know people that don't even have an ounce of grass because they live in the city. Not an ounce. Not even a place to plant a little seed. Is that what Yehovah expects? I don't think so. I think it's what the world has done to keep us under their control, working for them. So Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. But now look what it says. Then he drank of the wine and was drunk, and he became uncovered in his tent. Well, what does that mean? How do we understand that? The word uncovered is the word galal, or gala. Gala. It says denude, especially in a disgraceful manner. There's something about this word that has moral implications. I think the translators fail to understand the moral implication part of this word. Denude, stripped, divested of coverings, laid bare. This is continuing with the new ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible. He says, as a lifting off of a cover, to expose from the removal of clothing, to reveal something by exposing it. Now, you know what? We've got this idea that if we take this literally, they saw their dad's privates. Ham saw his dad's privates. Please, you're killing me. They live in a tent. You think they haven't seen their dad's privates? Folks, there's more that needs to be understood. So what are we talking about when we talk about uncovering our father's nakedness? Well, uncovered in a sense. Look at the next verse. And Ham, the father of Canaan. So here we're talking about Canaan again. Ham, wouldn't it be Ham, Noah's son? But no, it says Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father. So what? And told his two brothers. What did Ham do? You know what? I think Yasher gives us some understanding about what is going on in this situation. Remember, it was Shem and Japheth, I really should say Japheth and Shem, who sat at the feet of Methuselah and their father learning Torah. We saw that Ham wasn't even mentioned until after they came out of the ark, other than took wives for his three sons. We're talking Yasher. Ham's not mentioned. What's going on with Ham? There's things that we've got to understand what this man was like. Was he perhaps rebellious? Was he angry that his world was destroyed? If there's a man of the flesh among these four men, Ham's the man of the flesh. Well, uncovering our father's nakedness. What does that mean? Saw the nakedness of his father. Told his two brothers outside. What was going on? Well, remember, it's line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. If we go to Leviticus 18, Leviticus 18 is all the sexual things that we're not to be involved in. Taking our mother, taking our sister, and taking a woman and her sister, taking our daughters. All of these are things that are going to get us killed, put out of Israel, and stoned. Look what it says in 18. The nakedness, this is 18, 7 and 8. The nakedness of your father or the nakedness of your mother you shall not uncover. He's talking about the people that we have sex with in this chapter. This is what the whole chapter is about. Don't have sex with animals. Don't have sex with men. Don't have sex with the other people that we're talking about near of kin. The nakedness of your father or the nakedness of your mother you shall not uncover. She is your mother. You shall not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your father's woman you shall not uncover. It is your father's nakedness. So we've got sex with our father. We've got sex with our mother, the wife, the current wife of our father, and we have sex with our father's woman who's not our mother. They're all our father's nakedness. I know he had to have sex with his father or his mother. I used to think it was his mother, but now that I'm seeing the anger that's involved in this man, I think it was the former. I think he had sex with his father. Uncovered his father's nakedness. It's a euphemism. Okay, we remember euphemisms. Here's a man passed away instead of a man died. That's a euphemism. Adult entertainment instead of pornography. Ample proportions instead of obese. Armed intervention instead of war. Let me put these up here. Assumed room temperature. Died. Natural. Naked. They're all euphemisms, and this is a euphemism for something that is bad. For a man, here I put, uncovering his father's nakedness instead of saying he raped his father or his father's woman, in this case, his mother. Is it possible that what Ham actually saw was Noah in his drunkenness having sex with his woman? Why? Would that make a difference if he's drunk? The Native Americans live in a tent. It's completely natural for a child to see his parents making out. No, that's not what we're talking about, Sheila. It's more heinous than that. So heinous that it's going to affect Canaan. It's actually going to affect all of Ham's seed, is what we're going to see. I hope that makes sense to you. So let's continue. I want to go to 22, and I have some more notes on 22, I think. See verse 21. I guess I don't. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers. Okay, here is now what's going to happen with the two brothers. Is it about the mother? Is it about Noah and his woman? No, I don't think so. But Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on their shoulders, and went backwards and uncovered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. Now let's say they saw their mother. So what? You know, we live in a Victorian society, prudish society, where it's a sin to look at a naked woman or a naked man. Is that a sin? Look at the sins of Leviticus 18. Does it say, you shall not look at your father naked? You shall not look at your mother naked. Doesn't make sense, does it? There's more to be understood. It says, and they did not see his father's nakedness. No, we got deeper understandings we got to go for this. So Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. Who is the younger son? Remember, it said in Genesis 5:32, it says, and Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Remember, it's always about the man begetting the sons. Well, from that, we could assume they're triplets. They were born in the 500th year, weren't they? But are they? Again, it's about building our theology based on one verse. Don't build your theology based on one verse. It's going to get you in trouble. Look what it says. Ham was the youngest. Let's look at it. Here it is right here. I want to look at the very bottom verse. You know what? Let me just do this. I'm going to delete that and just use this one verse. Can I get it to go in? Yeah, there it goes. So Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. Well, let's find out. The younger son. Okay, so that tells us right there, younger son. It was Ham that did it, wasn't it? So Ham's got to be the youngest son. But now, how do we fit in Japheth and Shem? Well, here's Japheth. Let me move this over. Here we go. Think we can fit it? Yes. And sons were born also to Shem, the father of Eber's seed, the brother of Japheth, the elder. So, who's the eldest son? Come on, this is not rocket science. Japheth is the elder. So, birth order is Japheth, Shem, and Ham, the younger, the youngest son. Here's Yasher. It says, and Naamah conceived and bare a son, and called his name Japheth, the eldest, saying, Elohim will enlarge me on the earth. And she conceived again, bare a son, and called his name Shem, saying, Elohim has made me a remnant to raise up seed in the midst of the earth. Doesn't even mention the birth of Ham. What's going on with Ham? We're going to see that Ham even stole from his father, hid it from his sons and his brothers, Shem and Japheth, and gave it to somebody else. Ooh, wait till we see what happens. Ham was not our friend. It goes on. Then he said, cursed be Canaan. Cursed be Canaan? Why is he cursing Canaan? What is going on here? Does Noah understand that Ham is not the spiritual son, not interested in following Yehovah's statutes, judgments, and ordinances, just by the very fact that he did not listen to Noah and Methuselah when they were teaching Shem or Japheth and Shem, Japheth and Shem? This says, cursed be Canaan. A servant of servants he shall be to his brethren. Canaan? Canaan? Why Canaan? Canaan is one of 4 sons of Ham. Why is Canaan being cursed? There's more to this story. Look what it says here in my notes. I've got a large portion from Yasher. I put, why Canaan? Ham was the culprit. It appears all the sons of Ham were to serve Japheth and Shem. Well, let's read it. For Moses remembered how Abraham had made his servant Eliezer swear, saying to him, thou shalt not take a woman from the daughters of Canaan for my son Isaac. Remember, they were dwelling where? In the land of Canaan. We're going to see today that the land of Canaan was a very, very extensive piece of real estate. Thou shalt not take a woman from the daughters of Canaan for my son Isaac. Why? Because Canaan's seed was wicked seed. It came from Ham. Ham's seed is wicked seed. They aren't following Torah. They aren't learning the way that leads to life. He says, thou shalt not take a wife, a woman, from the daughters of Canaan, nor make alliance with any of Ham's seed. Are we talking about Canaan? Why did he mention Canaan specifically? Because he's in the land of Canaan, you think? But it's about Ham's seed. Look what it says after this. For Yehovah our Elohim gave Ham, the son of Noah, and his sons, and all his seed, as slaves to Shem's seed, and to Japheth's seed. And unto their seed, I guess Japheth's sons, and Shem's sons, Japheth's sons, and unto all their seed after them for slaves forever. Well, here's the sons. Look, he's not even the firstborn. If you're going to curse a son, wouldn't you think the firstborn would be the one who gets cursed? Folks, it's not about Canaan. It's about Ham's seed. Ham's seed is supposed to be a servant to Japheth's seed and Canaan's seed forever. Why? Because they know the way that leads to life and they can help those men. He says in the same verse, a servant of servants he shall be to his brethren. It doesn't say a servant he shall be to his brethren. It says a servant of servants he shall be to his brethren. Is it possible that his brethren are both servants as well? Here's a question. Who do his brethren serve? Most of you are going to say Yehovah. I'm going to challenge your thinking on that. Let's continue. 26. And he said, here, let me do this. And he said, blessed be Yehovah, the Elohim of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. So who does Shem serve? He's the second-born son, isn't he? Not the firstborn son. Is there a shadow picture going on here? Man of the flesh, man of the spirit? We see this all the time in the scriptures. It's everywhere. Remember, it was Esau was firstborn, but Jacob was the one that got the blessing. The sons of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh. Manasseh was the eldest, but Ephraim got the blessing. It happens over and over and over in the scriptures. But look what it says. Blessed be Yehovah, the Elohim of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. If he's the Elohim of Shem, he's a servant of Elohim, isn't he? But look at the next verse. Well, let me just see what my note says here. Shem's Elohim. Shem's Elohim. That's what it actually says. Yehovah is Shem's Elohim. Elohe, Shem. Shem's Elohi. Shem's Elohim. Remember, Elohim, lawmaker and judge. He's the master. But now, look what it says about Japheth. Very next verse. It talks about dwelling. Well, here, let me read it. May Elohim enlarge Japheth, and may he dwell in the tent, really, in Shem's tent is actually what it says. Shem's tent. Shem's tent. May he dwell in Shem's tent. Well, to dwell in his tent, what does that mean? Who's the leader of the camp? Who does the buck stop with in this camp? The answer is Shem. Carrie said it correctly. I put Noah is putting Japheth, the elder, under Shem's authority. The middle son. Shem's the middle son. And Ham and his seed under both Shem and Japheth. Look what the rest of the chapter says, or the rest of the verse. And may Canaan be his servant. Last verse. And Noah lived, after the flood, 350 years. Now, keep in mind, this is not after he came out of the boat. This is after the flooding began, because he was 500 years when the flooding began. One of those 350 years was what? Well, he was on the boat, because he was on the boat for a whole year, a year and 10 days. Now, let me say this here. Few, I'd say very few, understand that Abraham was raised by Noah and Shem. 39 years Noah lived, his first 39 years, he lived with Noah and Shem. Well, no, not his first 39. The first 10, he lived in a cave. And the next 39 years, from 10 until 39 or 49, he lived with Noah and Shem. And that Shem outlived Abraham. Ooh, isn't that amazing? Shem outlived Abraham and taught both Isaac and Jacob Yehovah's ways. Shem held Jacob on his lap. Hello, my great grandson. Close. I don't know if that's accurate, but it's close. There's a lot of generations between Shem and Jacob. So all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Well, a lot happened during that 350 years, including the Tower of Babel, the birth of Nimrod, the birth and life of Abraham. Wow, so much to learn. Let's go to the next chapter. It says, now these are the generations of Noah's seed. Ooh, look at what it says here. I want to point your attention to the side here. This is where I'm reading from. You got to move beyond the English. The English is inadequate to understand what this verse is all about. Let me try to explain. Remember I said there's places where it has Benim and Beni, or as some say, Bene. This is one of them. And this helps develop our understanding. You know, most people will look at this chapter and skip it. Oh, too many names. I don't want to read all those names. And you know what? I don't like to read all those names either, but there's things that we can find if we will dig deeper. This first verse is an amazing verse because here we're talking about Beni and Benim, Noah's seed, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and sons were born to them. Noah's seed is who? Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Adult men. They're Bani. Men handling their own household with their own wives, bearing sons and daughters. But they're not talking about the daughters that are being born. Not a single daughter is going to be mentioned in this chapter. Why? Because it's not about women. It's about men. It's about the seed. It's going to be about the nations who are formed on the earth through these men's seed. Now these are the generations of Noah's seed. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They put them in order of notoriety instead of birth order, don't they? And sons were born to them being who? Shem, Ham, Japheth, after the flood. What do we say? I want you to have sons so you can produce seed for the new world. Seed after your seed. Why does he want it to be after his seed? Because his seed was the only righteous seed that was wholly righteous from the last kingdom. Let's start out with the best we got. He's going to do it again in the latter days when he raises up the servants of Yehovah, the 144,000. However many there's going to be. They're his servants. People that come to them are going to be their servants. They are going to be the ones who are the leaders of the gates in the millennial kingdom. Do you want to be a great one now? It's going to pay big dividends in the future. Ooh, if you search the scriptures, you're going to see how good it's going to be. Verse 2. We're going to now talk about Japheth's seed. Japheth's seed was Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavan, Tuval, Meshach, and Taras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sons. I put all the sons in green with an underline in this chapter. You'll see why later. Still talking about Japheth's seed. Now look what it says. He's going to list the sons of the sons in the next verse. Gomer was the firstborn. It says Gomer's seed. Didn't say sons, it says seed. Raising seed after your seed. What did we say that was? Zerah. No, Zerah. Zerah, yeah, seed. Zerah. Often gets translated as descendants. So it says, Gomer's seed were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. Javan's seed, next son. No, didn't even do Magog and Madai. Apparently they didn't have sons right away. So it says, Javan's seed is Elisha, Tarish, Katim, and Dudamim. Dudamim. It says, oh boy, we got to really go to, they have, a lot of these places, they want to put coastlands. Coastland people. Is that what we're talking about? Where is that in the Hebrew? I looked for it. There's nothing about coastland people. No, I put these are places where this is the Gentiles, the nations divided. So we're talking about the places where Japheth's seed divided. That's what we're talking about. In their lands, each by their tongue and by their families, into their nations. Now, this is really interesting because you know what? Usually when we talk about this word nations, look what the word is. It's goy. It's translated by most Jews as nations. And here they actually did translate it into their nations. And that's what it says, in their nations, is literally what it says, in their nations. I put into their nations, but it really is in their nations. This says in. The bet says in. This says there. And this is plural. So we're talking about in their nations. But this word im, here's the word im right here. Look what they put. Meaning not. They have here, you see the dash after it says Job 22 verse 30? The dash, when you're looking at Strong's, means what it's translated as, not what it means. Okay? This is Strong's. But when you go to Ancient Hebrew Lexicon in the Bible, look what it says here. It's the same word. Here it is right here. Im, or E. E is what it is, double E. It means place. A place where. I used, these are places where. It has nothing to do with rivers, oceans, sea coasts, which practically every other translation does. We've got to understand this verse. This is a summation of Japheth's seed in the context of the whole chapter. We're going to be talking about the nations that are forming on the earth during this time. So this is what we're talking about. These are the places where the nations divided in their lands, each by his tongue, by his families, or family, in their nations. Amazing stuff. Let's go on. Let's talk about Ham's seed now. Ham's seed, not the sons of Ham, this is Ham's seed, was Cush, Mitzrayim, Put, and Canaan. Well, we don't know it yet, but there's going to be a fifth son. The fifth son is going to be Nimrod. Ooh, we have lots to learn about Nimrod today. And next week, we're going to get into it quite extensively as well. But here we're talking about the seed of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Zavta, Ra'amah, and Savtaka. And remember, we're still doing the sons, underlining them in green as they're introduced. And the seed of Ra'amah was Sheva and Dedan. Now look what it says. Let me just see what my note says. Cush's seed, Ra'amah's seed. Yeah, this is the B'nai that we're talking about. Same word. Okay, we're not talking about ladies. We're not talking about children. Do you see that? Is there a single woman in this chapter? Haven't seen one yet, have we? Okay, it's not about the children of Israel. It's about Israel's seed. Seed. And Israel is the spiritually born men that come through Passover and eat of that lamb after circumcising them, their privates. That is the spiritually born seed. Those are the instructions that go to Yehovah's men, not people who keep the Sabbath. Keeping the Sabbath does not make you Yehovah's man. Leaving the kingdom of your birth, partaking in the Passover, that's what makes you the Ezra man. You can join the Ezra man, and there's going to be a lot who will join the Ezra men when they're raised up. There'll be the ger. But right now, we can become a ger. We can leave the kingdom of our birth, and then at Passover become the Ezra, the native-born man. Those are the men, the servants of Yehovah. They don't serve the Elohim of their birth anymore. They serve Yehovah. Well, there's lots to learn. Now Cush begat Nimrod. Look what it says. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. Cush begat Nimrod. He became. This is the word. Is this the word I'm thinking it is? Haya, yeah. Haya. He became. Behold, I am that I am. That's Haya. He became. But look what it says. He became a mighty one. What's the mighty one? Or what is the, it says, began to be a mighty one. There's another word in here. It's this word kala. Mighty one on the earth. That is the word, and I'm surprised I don't have it in here. That is the word Gabor. Where's the Gabor? Do I have a Gabor here? Yeah, there it is right there. Gabor. Gabor. That's the mighty one. Here we go. These were the sons, Cush begat. This is what we want right here. Let's just grab this. Put it in there. Edit, copy. Let's just drop that in there. He became a mighty one. Paste. There it is. Gabor. He became a Gabor. But look what this word here is. Kalal. Ha kalal. Ha kalal. What does this ha kalal do to the mighty one? Look what it says. This is bore, wound, dissolve, profane, a place or thing, break. Oftentimes it's talking about drilling. You know how when you drill, you puncture the metal first to keep your drill in place? Yeah, that's kind of the galal. But in this case, it's talking about breaking. I saw it in, here, let me just make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. This is the ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible on this word kalal. Kalal. And actually, this is not even kalal. Look at kalal is, no, kaf, het. Het, lamed, lamed. But this is hey, het, lamed. Okay, they put this word, or this number, 2490, using the word het, lamed, lamed, not het, lamed. Significant difference. And you can't catch this if you're going to trust only in the Strong's numbers. Yes, thank you, Carrie. That's what we're talking about. Okay, Strong's oftentimes will mislead you, and so you've got to double check this. I'm so grateful for having the ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible available to me. Well, look what he says. He says, bore, hole, pain, to drill a hole in his tool called a bow drill. The string as a bow is wrapped around the drill. But here he's going down to this word. See, this is all het lamed. You see that? Het lamed, het lamed, het lamed. Here's the verse, or here's the number 2455, which means exposed, profane. Can you see that? Here, let me do this. I want to get it into your picture here. Let me move it up. Here's the word. This is the word we're talking about. The profaned. It's got a het in front of it, or a hey in front of it, talking about the. Ha. Ha. Call. Ha call. That's what we're talking about. But look what it means. Properly exposed, hence profane, common, profane, unholy. Is it possible that this man is the unholy, mighty one on the earth? Folks, they have him being a mighty one on the earth. This is what they're going to do to Esau. They make him a mighty hunter before Yehovah. Here, let's take a hiatus. We got time. I'm in no rush. Are you in a rush? I hope not. If you are, get out of it. Don't be in a rush. Always be willing to learn. 25. Look what it says about Esau down here in 25. Afterwards, his brother, no, that's not it. Here it is, 27. So the boys grew, and Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field. They make him sound like the buff, good guy, doesn't it? You know, there's a reason this is the King James Version. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who are righteous in their own eyes and prudent in their own hearts, for they have rejected the laws of Yehovah, the Holy One of Israel. No, there's more to be understood here. Going back. Come on. It's thinking. There it goes. It went back anyway. Okay, so we got Cush supposedly being this mighty one on the earth. Gabor. Let's look at this word now, Gabor. Because there's more that we need to understand even in this word. Gabor. Who is a Gabor? He's a profaned mighty one. The profaned. Ha! Kal. The profaned. Whoops. What did I do there? Let's fix that. Edit. Undo. I wanted to do a Control B and highlight it. He is the profaned mighty one on the earth. And he is not going to encourage men to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. We're going to see he's going to build cities and fill them. He's going to take captives and make Japheth's seed and Shem's seed his servants. Who's he supposed to be the servant of? He's the seed of Cush. No, he's the seed of Ham. He's supposed to be the seed or be the servants of Japheth and Shem. This man is a rebellious man. Here, I think I even had something about his name.
It means rebellion.
Yeah, his name means rebellion. Where is that? Why don't I have that? 10:8, 10:8. I thought, oh, there it is, right here. Nimrod, let us rebel. Nimrod led a rebellion against Yehovah. Here's Smith's Bible Dictionary. It says Nimrod, rebellion. Or it could mean valiant. Again, perversion. Don't let them trick you. Be smarter than the translators. Look at the Hebrew. Dig in. Digest it. Make it yours. Make it so you understand how every word fits together. You can do it. I can help you. But if you're just going to throw it out and say, every King James word is the word of Elohim, and it's perfect in everything that it says, folks, you're a nitwit if you believe that. You're never going to come to the truth. Never in a million years. You're still going to be talking about the children of Israel. You're going to be lost. I can help you. Here's Nimrod. Look what it says. This is right out of New American Standard something concordance. New American Standard. Here it is. New American Standard. Where are you there, bud? New American Standard Exhaustive Concordance is what that stands for. What it says: an ancient king of iniquity, antiquity. Both. An ancient king of antiquity. He says, possibly Sargon I of Akkad, who was celebrated both as a great warrior and a builder in the area of ancient southern Mesopotamian and later in northern Mesopotamia near the Tigris River. Nineveh, Babylon, Akkad are just three of the foundational cities he set up. Folks, this is not a good guy. Don't treat him as a good guy. The world treats these guys as good guys. They got to work with King James, don't they? There's more to learn. Nimrod. How did it go? Ham, Cush, Nimrod. Nimrod is who then to Noah?
Huh?
Noah
Grandson.
is his grandson. That's exactly right. Thanks, Carrie. Nimrod is listed with Cush's other sons in verse 7. It appears from Yasher that Nimrod did not have the same mother as his other.
In his old age.
Hang on. Did not have the same mother as his other sons. Nimrod did not have the same mother as his other brothers, is what I'm supposed to say. Okay, now look what it says in Yasher. This is really interesting. And Cush, the son of Ham, the son of Noah, took a woman in those days in his old age. And she bare a son, and they called his name Nimrod. Nimrod was the son of his old age, saying at that time, Ha-Adam's seed. The sons of men is how it's translated, began to rebel and transgress against Elohim. And the boy grew, and his father loved him exceedingly, for he was the son of his old age. And the garments of skin which Elohim made for Adam and his woman when they went out of the garden were given to Cush. Okay, this is the big picture. How can Adam and his woman give them to Cush when Adam is on one side of the flood and Cush is on the other side of the flood? Okay, we got more to understand, don't we? Okay, this is the big picture. Now let us find out how it happened. How did Cush get the garments that belong to Adam and his woman? Adam and his woman. They don't even give her a name. Gives the man a name, doesn't it? For after the death of Adam and his woman, the garments were given to Enoch. Oh, a righteous man is who the garments were given to. The righteous man is supposed to be the one who is leading the people of the earth. Could these garments be a sign of who men are supposed to follow? Did these garments have perhaps even supernatural abilities tied to them? Let's find out. After the death of Adam and his woman, the garments were given to Enoch, the son of Jared, and when Enoch was taken up to Elohim, he gave them to Methuselah, his son, another righteous man. And at the death of Methuselah, Noah took them and brought them into the ark, and they were with him until he went out of the ark. But now look what happens. And in their going out, Ham stole those garments from Noah, his father. Does this sound like a nice kid? Was this before or after he raped his father, I wonder? And when Ham begat his firstborn Cush, he gave the garments in secret, and they were with Cush many days. So did he say anything to his brothers? Ham, did he say anything to Japheth that he had taken him? Did he say anything to Shem that he had taken him? No, he kept it quiet. Gave it in secret to Cush. And Cush also concealed them from his sons and brothers. So Cush didn't tell Mitzrayim, didn't tell Put, didn't tell Canaan what was going on. His sons and his brothers. Who are the sons of Cush? Oh yeah, these are Cush. Seba, Havilah, Savda, Ra'amah, and Septikah. Those are his sons, and of course his brothers are Mitzrayim, Put, and Canaan. Hit him, didn't tell him about it. And when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave those garments through his love for him. And Nimrod grew up, and when he was 20 years old, he put on those garments. Look what it says next. And Nimrod became Nimrod strong when he put on the garments. This is something that happened like that. And Elohim gave him might and strength. How? Through the garments. And he became a mighty hunter on the earth. You know what? I wonder if somewhere this word hunter has been, how do I say, is the word interposed? Inserted into the text to mislead us. He does go on and say this though, but again, just because it says it doesn't make it true. And Nimrod became strong when he put on the garments. And Elohim gave him might and strength, and he was a mighty hunter on the earth. Yea, he was a mighty hunter in the field, and he hunted the animals and built altars and offered upon them the animals before Yehovah. Does building an altar, slaughtering an animal, and burning it up as a sweet aroma to Yehovah make you a righteous man? Does it make you a righteous man if you keep the Sabbath? Does it make you a righteous man if you eat clean? No, there's more that we got to understand, isn't there? Here's a man who's rebellious against Yehovah. Yea, he was a mighty hunter in the field and hunted the animals and built altars and offered them the animals and offered upon them the animals before Yehovah. And Nimrod strengthened himself and rose up amongst his brethren, and he fought the battles of his brethren against all their enemies round about. If he's fighting the battles of his brethren, who's his brethren? The sons of Ham. Who's the enemies? Japheth's seed, Japheth's seed, and Shem's seed. That's who the enemies are. Who's supposed to be the servant of whom? Do you start to see the heinousness that's going on here? But we're just getting started. This man is not a good guy. Not in any sense of the word. Warrior, Gabor. Still talking about the Gabor, the mighty ones. Was this word used in other places? It says prevail, warrior, one of great strength or authority, a master. Who's supposed to be the master? Shem's supposed to be the master. Japheth is a servant to Shem. And Ham is to be the servant of both of them. Instead, this man is becoming the one of great strength and the warrior, the one who has the authority, the new master. In your face, Yehovah, which is a very apropos comment in the light of our very next verse. But let me show you a couple more places where the Gabor are mentioned. Here it is. First time it's mentioned is in 6 of Genesis, 6:4. There were giants on the earth in those days. And also afterwards when Adam's seed came in to the daughters of men. The men's daughters. And they bore sons to them. Those were the mighty ones, the Gabor. Same exact word that we're talking about with Nimrod, only Nimrod's the singular, where they're the plural. Men of old, men of renown. We're talking about the giants. What are some of the words that we have? Zazumim. I forget all the words. Sons of Anak. Anakim, I guess is one of them. Zuzamim, I think is what it was. But we're talking about the giants. These are the guys like who? Og, the king of Bashan. He was a giant. Goliath was a giant. Wicked men. Perversions. Different kind mating with kind. Spiritual kind mating with flesh kind. Sons of Elohim. Oh, I think I said sons Adam's seed. No, that was Elohim's seed. Elohim's seed. That was angels. Came to the daughters of men. Daughters of Adam. Adam's daughters. And bore sons. I'm glad I caught that. So here's the next one. This is the one that we're currently talking about. Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. Well, we understand that as a little bit different right now. I wrote that. Here, I should probably take this, edit, copy. I'm always working on my notes. Gotta make them crisp and clear for anybody who gets my notes. I want them to understand what is going on. Here it is, edit, paste. Cush begat Nimrod. He became the profaned mighty one on the earth. But now, look what it says about Israel's seed. We had just kept the Passover. And now, the very next day, we're leaving Egypt with our sons and our daughters and our women and our servants. And many of the Egyptians who said, okay, we get it. We're going with you. You have a stronger Elohim. We're leaving Pharaoh. They all left. Look what it says. And Israel's seed journeyed from Ramses to Sukkot. About 600,000 on foot that were, look at what they say, men. That were men. This is what it says in the New King James. Yeah. Men, 1,000 men on foot. How come they aren't mighty ones? They're Gabor. Every place else it gets translated as mighty ones, but they're got to be men. You think they're your friends, these translators? These are the true mighty ones on the earth. They're the ones that are going to lead and be the masters on the earth. And it's going to happen again. The men who are leaving now are going to be the great ones in the next kingdom. Then it says, besides children, besides tough. Tough can be sons and daughters. But tough isn't ladies. The ladies aren't even mentioned. So typical for Torah. They don't mention the ladies. It's about the men. They're the flesh. Oh, I know I make people so angry. I had one lady talk to me this week telling me about a woman is nothing without a man in her life before Yehovah. Mr. DDA, you can go to hell. Their emotions get so involved in the doctrines and traditions of men that makes a man equal to a woman, or should I say, a woman equal to a man. But they don't understand. I'm trying to deliver them from unrighteousness so that they can live eternally. Remember, it's all about doing what you were created to do, isn't it? What was the woman created for? An etzer kenegdo, an aid suitable for her man. Your desire shall be for your man, and he shall rule over you. Not Yehovah. We gotta go deeper. Now look at the next verse. Things like this. This is what I say. They make Nimrod a good guy. Nimrod's not a good guy. Look what it says. He was a mighty hunter before Yehovah. That's what it says in my King James, New King James. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before Yehovah. No, 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 no. Before. Look at what the word is. The word is panah. Face.
In your face.
Yeah, Carrie says it. In your face, Yehovah. They twist the scriptures 180 degrees to make him a good guy instead of a bad guy. He became, there's that hayah again. He became a mighty hunter. Mighty hunter, a gabor. How did he become a gabor? He put on the garments. Now, is this still something that Yehovah permitted? I think it is. Just like he's going to permit other men in these last days. We call him the Antichrist, but it's not a man, it's a people. It's people who are going to turn you away from Yehovah's statutes, judgments, and ordinances. They're going to keep you on the broad road. Just like the Ezra is a people, Israel is a people, so is the Antichrist a people. And there really is no term, Antichrist. I mean, you look at Isaiah, 13? It's talking about the axe in the master's hand. In a sense, that's Nimrod, an axe in the master's hand. But let's take a look at this some more. I want to look at this word, panim. Here it is in the ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible. Look what it says. Turn. This is the root of this particular word. Turn. Turn, to turn the face or to turn directions. Here it is down here. The face also, the presence of one through the sense of being in the face of. To turn the face of, or they put before. That's how it's being translated right now, before. But here's some of the words from King James. One of them is against. Not before, against. Remember, that's not necessarily a definition. That's just one more way that it's getting translated. So, I think we're talking about something like this. I believe this should say against, or in the face of, or to turn from Yehovah. He was a mighty hunter. Remember, what did we say? 8, how did 8 go again? Profaned, the profaned mighty one. This is not a mighty one that is picked by Yehovah, like Enoch, like Methuselah, like Noah. And you know who these garments are going to go to after they leave Nimrod? They're going to go to Esau, because Esau is going to kill Nimrod. And he's going to reject his birthright. Why? Because he's got the garments and he thinks he's going to rule the earth. That's the same day that he sold the birthright for a bowl of porridge. Now you know the rest of the story. He got the garments. He wanted to be like Nimrod. Oh my goodness, there's just so much to understand. Let's continue. That's what we were talking about before, in the face of Yehovah. Now listen what it says. In the beginning of his kingdom. Are we talking about Yehovah's kingdom? Or are we talking about Nimrod's kingdom? We're talking about Nimrod's kingdom. Look what it says. This is the word right here. Mamlaka, his dominion. In the beginning of Nimrod's dominion was Babel, Arak, Akkad, Calneh in the land of Shinar. That's where he started. Remember, he built the cities in the south. I want to go to my map, because these are things that we've got to see and understand. Here it is. Let's start here. We're going to go with this is the land of Israel. There's the Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea down here. Jerusalem is going to be right at the top of the Dead Sea, right in this area someplace. Okay, but we're going to zoom out, and I'm going to take you way up north. We're going to go way, way, way up here. Here's the Euphrates. Okay, here's the Tigris. Here is Babylon, right here. Let's zoom in. It's where the Tigris and the Euphrates kind of come together. Okay, rich, fertile area, the mouth of two rivers. So it's a good place for commerce coming from the sea on the right, which is modern day. Where was it? We had our first big. They attacked all the oil things long before Iraq. What was the name of that place? Anybody know right offhand? It's right at the sea's interest
Iran.
here.
No, it's not Iran.
No.
Saddam Hussein was
Yeah. It's right at the Persian Gulf. I forget. It's rich in oil. This place is rich in oil. And remember, they set all those oil things on fire. Okay, so this is a natural port to have your city, because you got it feeding from the sea through the rivers, down the rivers, and you got up the rivers, also feeding commerce. Okay, so let's zoom in. Here is 75%. And we want to go, where is it? Down below more. There's Calneh. There's Babylon. Maybe I'm in too far. Let me go back to 50. Yeah, okay. Here is Calneh. Here is Babylon. Remember, we talked about this
was
king,
Iraq.
Sargon I, building cities in the south. He was the mighty one on the earth.
That's in Iraq.
Iraq. No, there's another country there, Carrie. I forget what it is, but there's another country there. A very small country that we were talking about. Nope, none of you have it right. Or Sheila doesn't have it right. I know it. I forget what it is, but I'd recognize it if I saw it. So, Babylon. Let's look at this. Go back to the scriptures. I'm going to keep this one open now.
Kuwait, that's it.
Kuwait. Yes, Kuwait. That is the one we're talking about. Kuwait. Yeah, that's where Kuwait is, right on the sea. Okay, thank you, Sheila. Good job. Always nice to have you in my class. You're a wealth of information and you read my mind sometimes. So we're talking about Babel, Iraq, Akkad, and Calneh. Wasn't Calneh one of the ones that we just saw? Calneh. That's Kutha. No, that's not the same one. Well, we got Babylon anyway. Oh, there's Iraq. Iraq. Wasn't that one of them? Iraq. There it is right there. Where's Akkad? Let me zoom out just a little bit more on my map. I got to go to, maybe I can go to 40. Nope. Let's just do 40. Here. All right. There's Akkad, or Iraq. Well, I don't see that other city. But now, before I turn back, we see some of these. I want to take you upriver, up the Tigris, to these cities. There's Calah, and there is Nineveh. Did you ever wonder where Nineveh was? That's Nineveh. Here, give you a bigger picture so you can see it. There's, I gotta give you still a bigger picture. 3010. Gotta zoom out, okay? Babylon here. Here's Nineveh, Calah. They're on the Tigris River. Remember we said Sargon I built cities on the Tigris River in the north. This is it right here. First he built these cities. Then he built those cities. Here it is. And from the beginning of his Memlekah, his dominion was Babylon, or Babel. Iraq, Akkad, Calneh, in the land of Shinar. And from that land he went to Assyria and built Nineveh and Calah. Okay, we just saw Calah up there with Nineveh. And Rezin between Nineveh and Calah. That is the principal city. So here's a man that's painted as a good guy that is doing what? Being fruitful, being fruitful, multiplying, and filling the earth? Is he doing any of those? Maybe he's multiplying and consolidating the earth into cities, isn't he? I want you to see something. I want to go to the first verse, or close to the first verse of the next chapter. Look what it says, verse 4. This is 11:4. And they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is to the heavens. And let us make a name for ourselves." Is it about raising up Yehovah's name? Or is it about making a name for themselves? You know, there's lots of people that are out there making names for themselves every day. Athletes, actors, businessmen. Everybody is building their own ways. It says, lest we be scattered abroad on the face of the whole earth. Is that filling the earth? That's the opposite of filling the earth, isn't it? Well, this is what we're talking about when Adam's seed builds this tower, the Tower of Babel.
Shem and Japheth seed to do it.
From the land, he went to Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Calah, and Rezin was between Nineveh and Calah. That was the principal city. Verse 13, Mitzrayim. Who's Mitzrayim? Mitzrayim was,
Samson.
he's Sam's son, but he is the second born. There it is at the top. Cush, Mitzrayim, Put, Canaan. So now we're going to talk about Mitzrayim's seed. So we need to underline some more men. Mitzrayim begat Ludim and Anamim and Lahabim and Naphtuhim. Listen to this. Patrusim and Kasluhim from, or maybe that's Kaslukim, from whom came the Philistines and the Caphartim. So the Philistines, remember we fought the Philistines. They're in the Gath area. We gave it up here just recently. But that was the Philistines. This is sons of who right now? Mitzrayim. These are the ones that went down towards Egypt. But they had some even up there. Right next to the land, the Canaanites' land. All right? So then it says, Canaan begat Sidon. Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, look what it says, the Jebusites. When we talk about the Jebusites,
Israel.
who are we talking about? We're talking about Heth, sons of Heth. They're Canaanites. Well, this is really, really interesting. If you're we have to be. We can't see the big picture if we don't understand these things. Look what it says. Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth the Jebusites. The Amorite, look what it says. The Amorite. Well, the Amorite is not a son. He's a people. The Amorites. The Girgashites. The Hivites, the Archites, the Sinites, the Archavites, the Zemarites, and the Hamathites, or Hamathites. Well, again, Yasher is going to give us some very, very good information. Look what Yasher 7:13 says. And the sons of Canaan were Sidon, Heth. Got the first two right. But look at the next one. The Amorites come from Amari. That's the guy's name, Amari. Girgashi. Hivi is the Hivite. Girgashi is the Girgashite. The Arki is the Arkite. Seni is the Sinite. Arodi is the Arvadites, and Zimodi is the Zimarite, and Kamathi is the Kamathites. These are the sons of Canaan. we're going to be given the land of Canaan. Now it's going to tell us what the land of Canaan is. Let's find out. More maps. And the border of the Canaanites was Sidon, as you go towards Gerar, as far as Gaza. Then you go toward Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim, four of the five cities. No, those are the four cities of around the Dead Sea, the ones who were destroyed in the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. And then it says as far as Lasha. Now, I can show you where these other ones are, but Lasha is a question. But I've got some thoughts on where Lasha must be. Remember, we're outlining the borders of the Canaanites, right? The Canaanites' land is what's going to be Israel's land. So let's look at the map and find out where these places are at. First, we're going to go back to the land of Israel. Here's Sidon right here. Let me put that more center, and we're going to go to, let's go to 50%. Okay, here's Sidon. Here's Sea of Galilee, to give you an idea where it's at. Here's Tyre, or Sidon is really the one we're looking for. So it says Sidon as far as Gaza as you go towards Gerar. So here's the bottom of it. This area down here is Philistine country. From there, we turn east towards Sodom. And here's Sodom, where my hand is right here. Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim. You can't really see Admah or Zeboim, but they're there. Here's Admah, here's Zeboim. From there, it said Lasha. Where is Lasha? Well, you know what? You look at some of the encyclopedias, and they'll tell you Lasha is east of the Dead Sea. I don't think it's east of the Dead Sea, because we're talking about the borders of the Canaanites. Where's the borders of the Canaanites? Well, part of understanding where the borders of the Canaanites has to do, here's Zeboim, right where my hand is at, has to do with understanding that we're talking about borders of a land. And we can't end it with this place, because if we ended it with this place east of the Dead Sea and drew a line from there back to Sidon, we got a stupid map, don't we? But when we understand that the land that we took in Numbers 22, when we took Sidon, the king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan, who's also an Amorite king, now it begins to make a little bit more sense. When we took their lands, what lands did we take? We took this place right here. From the top of the Dead Sea, we took all this land going up on the east side, all the way out to this place here, Kanath. Edrei was the border of Bashan, Og's kingdom. Sihon had all the land, or all the land between the Jabbok River. No, I take it back. Between, basically the top of the Dead Sea, all the way to this river here that's going through Edrei. I forget, Yarbuk, I think it's the Yarbuk River. Now, if we were to draw a line to this area, which I tend to think is where Lasha has to be, Because if we were to draw a line from here to there, and then draw a line from Canaan all the way up to Sidon, now we've encompassed all the area of the Canaanites, which we took for ourselves. It has to be. This is what we're talking about. And see, we can understand this because we know that Canaan, or that this land of Bashan here. Let me just do this. I put it together for you just so you could see it. Here it is. Okay? Understanding that sons of Canaan were Amorites. Okay, that's where it begins. Amorite, the third-born son, was the father. This gave the seed to all the Amorites. The father of the Amorites. And look what it says here in Deuteronomy 31. And Yehovah will do to them as he did to Sihon and Og, the king of the Amorites, and their land, when he destroyed them. You see what's going on? We are to take the land of the Canaanites. And that land on the east side of the Jordan River is part of the Canaanites' land. And that's why we had to take it. Well, isn't that interesting? It's 1 o'clock right now. We're going to have to talk about this some more next week. I had lots more things that I wanted to talk about in this chapter. We didn't get to what I wanted to tell you about the 70 nations, but we're going to. We'll have to do it next week. All right. Well, love you tons. Hey, everybody, thank you for coming today. Great to have you here. I guess everybody's been here at least once. Some haven't been here for a while, but I'm really glad you made it. If you're listening online, please, if you like what I have to say, start from the beginning. You're listening to the video. Go to the first one on the YouTube channel, G1. Start listening from there and learn how things build on one another. Yehovah gives us understanding upon understanding upon understanding upon understanding. And today, one of the most important understandings we got was this idea about seed. Seed versus sons. Generational seed and the B'nai who give birth to the Benim, the sons. Those are sons. All right. Well, hey, thank you for coming. We'll see you next week. Love you tons. Bye now.